Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of November 21st. I actually completely just forgot to make this video last week, which isn't a huge deal, I realize, but it is the This Week in WoW videos that I do every week are kind of what keeps my YouTube channel in my mind or whatever. Like, oh yeah, I need to do my YouTube channel or whatever. And yeah, so I completely forgot, but it was because I was just so busy, both in real life and in game. We're going to talk about all the in-game stuff, of course, but I was just horribly busy in real life as well. It's been a rough week for me. But let's go ahead and now get started as normal with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Tyrannical, Entangling, and Bursting. Again, that's Tyrannical, Entangling, and Bursting. Entangling could perhaps be a little bit rough in like a Waycraft manner or something like that, but Entangling has largely been a fix that people don't really mind. Bursting, you know, it's going to be normal. Bursting's an old affix that might have already been in all these older dungeons already. And then of course it's Tyrannical, so we're going to see a whole new set of challenges. So this past week in Fortified Week, we saw which trash packs you just cannot pull when you're under geared, and this week we're going to see which bosses probably need maybe tuned down. And so it's going to be interesting, especially at first. We're going to see the dungeons that you think are currently very hard might be completely different on Tyrannical, because there'll be bosses that instead that are, you know, kind of destroying your group. But yeah, it was a crazy week of Mythic Plus last week. Hopefully I don't run as many this week. I am not somebody who I think I ran like 20 dungeons last week. That's not me. But I was, you know, doing my best to gear up as fast as I can, you know, try to get it all over with really quick. You know, didn't get my my KSM week 1, but pretty close. I should get it very, very quickly this coming week with only a handful of dungeons needed at the most, hopefully. So, yeah, this week doesn't appear to be too tough, but what we're going to find, of course, is some of these bosses on Tyrannical are probably going to be quite strong. So that's probably what we're going to learn here, which of these dungeons the bosses are strong on. Let's go ahead and jump into what's going on in game. Probably the most notable thing, aside from like the raids and stuff like that, is the anniversary event that's going on. So this is going on for a few weeks. This is going to give you, if you open up your mail or whatever, your extra reputation and experience as well for your characters. Everybody who opens the mail, you just right click it. It gives you a buff that lasts throughout the event or whatever. And you can also head to Tanaris, and you can go to, let's go all the way to Tanaris here, to Caverns of Time. So there are portals to the Caverns of Time, I believe, in the main cities as well. So you can just teleport there, and you can go down into the area there and get some quests. The world boss outside, it is pretty strong. It is like you're not going to really solo it unless you're a tank maybe, and that would take a long time. You go to the world boss outside the Caverns of Time here, and it'll drop you a mount. It's very similar to the Deathwing mount that they put out a while ago. It's just like a ice version of that, I guess, instead of a fire version. And you can get that. You can get a bunch of time badges from just doing very easy stuff if you're into anything like that. But yeah, that's probably the mount thing's kind of like a limited time thing, so you might want to head over and do that if you're interested in grabbing that mount. We also have Pilgrim's Bounty going on this week, and this is basically Thanksgiving or whatever. And this buff for reputation that you can get from this actually does stack with this, so you can actually get up to 29% reputation bonus if you're trying to finish up your Emerald Dream rep, the Dream Warden's rep or whatever. You can finish that up with 29%, up to 29% extra on your reputation there. So you can do that. That's kind of interesting thing to do. We also have Arena Skirmish event if you're looking to get honor, and a PvP brawl as well, which we just always have as Gravity Laps. Don't get too much into that. Hopefully PvP is better this tier, but it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like DHs are broken from what I'm hearing. So still not really any news on that front. Sorry to those of you who remain doing PvP. But yeah, other than that, obviously it's been a pretty crazy week. The Race to World First goes. It looks like Tindril might be a little bit of a gear thing here. So Tindril, in my guess, will kind of fall over on the reset, and then it'll basically be a race to see who can kill Farrak first between, you know, whatever guild. There's a lot of guilds up there, so it could be more than 2. kind of a race to see who can kill Farok first on Mythic difficulty. So that'll be that. I kind of suspect that killing of Farok on Mythic is going to unlock the legendary weapon, which is pertinent to me, pertinent to other Ret Paladins, pertinent to anybody who uses two-handers, of course, DKs and warriors as well. But yeah, so I assume that's going to be kind of how it happens. It's going to unlock the weapon again. Someone's going to get the weapon. It's then going to unlock, you know, region-wide or worldwide, however it unlocks. And then it'll be able to drop on other difficulties as well. And so, you know, people can start getting their axe. That's how I assume it's going to work. I assume it's going to work very similar to the last tier with the evoker weapon, except for the drop chance is going to be higher, because that's basically what they said. They said it's similar, but it's going to be less punishing. The drop chance is going to be higher. So who knows? It might not be exactly the same as far as the crafting goes or whatever, but I'm guessing it's kind of just going to be very similar, just because that's what they said. So I have no reason not to believe it as of now, at least. So we should see that happen sometime this week here, and yeah, so that's where we are with that. Other than that, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I always enjoy the first week. Some of these dungeons I'm going to be sick of. I'm going to have different takes on it later on into the patch, I'm sure, but I always enjoy the first week. Every dungeon feels new. Everything feels new. Learning how to overcome certain obstacles. Raid, it seems really fun. I really enjoy the raid, but I always really enjoy the raid. But it seems like everybody enjoys this raid for the most part, but everyone enjoys most raids for the most part. So that is kind of what World of Warcraft is good at, right? Is kind of like this endgame PvE stuff. So yeah, having a ton of fun right now. Super busy, super tired. But at least I'm not forgetting to do the video this week. Had some good Ret Paladin content last week. I'll have more Ret Paladin content. Some of you left some really good comments on the Ret Paladin videos with really good questions and really good suggestions and stuff like that. And I already made the video about showing the rotation, which somebody asked for, and I get asked that a lot and I never do it. Another person asked for like different builds for different bosses in the raid, and I'm gonna do that. I need to like go through, like I'm gonna give my own if there aren't any still, because Ret Paladins are not exactly in the meta or whatever, so we're not like getting mythic kills and stuff like that. And I really think you should base your builds off of the mythic thing in theory, because in heroic and normal, for example, ads could die too fast, and it's not even worth using AoE like on normal difficulty, right? It might not even be worth using AoE, where on mythic difficulty you might have to use AoE. And so I'm kind of waiting to see what some of these bosses are like on mythic first before I do something like that, but that's something I want to do as well. I thought that was a really good suggestion. So so there'll be more Ret Paladin content, I'm sure, coming out this week, especially when the axe drops or whatever we learn about the axe. There'll be, and then who knows, hopefully there's secrets hidden somewhere. It doesn't appear to be so, though. They probably would have put it in the Emerald Dream. But yeah, definitely more stuff like that coming out soon. And yeah, as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.